Tonight here at Pollok Shields Borough Hall, park-goers, councillors and politicians from the four major parties are rallying to discuss their ideas for ways to stop leisure operator Go Ape from building their treetop adventure course in Pollok Country Park. Some of the options that might be open to them are having the decision called in by Scottish ministers, or a legal challenge looking at the way that the consultation was carried out, or the agreement that covers the land in the park governed by the National Trust for Scotland.
I think Glasgow is a city with a long tradition of previous generations dedicating new parks, new green spaces for the city and for the citizens, not for the council as a commercial resource, but for the citizens to use.
Sometimes it's walking through it in heavy rain, the canopy of trees and that wood which can keep you dry. Sometimes it's looking at the old pond and feeling nostalgic about how did this park look in times gone by and wondering about that. It's the joggers that come past you on a Sunday morning, the people who are out with dogs, the families that are around in the winter, the crisp feel of frost. All of that is what I think all of us have come to treasure in that park. And this development proposal is just completely and totally inappropriate. And that, I think, is what we all instinctively feel.
Some of you are looking at me thinking, well, she's a minister, can she not just nobble her colleagues and get this thing called in? As you know, though, the planning process doesn't quite work like that. It's very tightly regulated, and because I'm the local MSP for that bit of Pollok Park, because I've made very clear that I oppose the application, I'm not allowed to have any part in the ministerial decision-making around this, nor am I allowed to try to influence my ministerial colleagues other than through the normal channels. In other words, using the same channels that all of you can use.
If they manage to push this through, then they will override every consideration that Glasgow City parks have at the moment. Can we ask Glasgow City Council to state now that they have no plans to use green space from Pollok Park or any other park on long-term lease or sale for building, and that they will never have these plans?
You know, I think the consultation was a sham. I think that the public have been ignored by the council. I think that's a shame, and I would rather we weren't in this position, but people have to continue to make their voices heard. You know, people power has to count for something.
We've been able to highlight a large number of points where the planning application was not considered properly, and we listed some of them tonight, but we think that we should raise that, and it should be sufficient for the Minister to consider calling it in. He has 28 days from the time it hits his desk to do so, and we've raised a number of issues where the Council has not done their job properly and has not considered aspects which are extremely material.